Hi, you guys, and welcome back to the Aligned Space Co. My name is Lenisha. I am a wise counsel, divination practitioner, and many more things. If you are ever seeking advice, life coaching services, mentorships, and the list goes on, please make sure you email me at thealignedSpaceCo@gmail.com. All right, we're going to be getting started on a collective, okay? I hope everyone is doing amazing. Take these messages how they resonate for you. Every message may not be for you. This reading is also a timeless reading, meaning it doesn't just resonate for when you see it. It can resonate in the future. It can confirm things of the past. All right, so just take what resonates for you and you only. If you want to get your own personal message, you can get on the list. I do private readings. I do collective readings. We can also schedule readings off of live if you feel more comfortable with that. All right, 12:13 on the clock. Today is a Saturday. It's August the 8th. I currently have an 87% battery, and we have two individuals in here, now 1 and now 0. Okay, angel number 13 can as well be significant. I'm seeing 0100. All right, as well as 0000. Infinite potential, unlimited possibilities, new beginnings, balance, stability. Okay. A lot of different things here. Channel song Waiting For by Rum Gold and Jamelia Woods. The song that just came off was called All Along. I believe it's by Kid Cudi. I'm not 100% sure. All right, let's start off with some tarot. I discovered another way to read tarot, so I'm gonna do that. Whoop. On the back. Not on the back. The throat chakra is very significant, whether it's encouraged to be healed, unblocked, unhindered, unscathed, or if you're in the space of operating in your throat chakra. Okay, I'm seeing the word acceptance. On the back we have love. Okay, time to two people deciding to love each other. Okay, this can be signifying relationships, connections, creativity, different things. Okay, just take the messages how they resonate for you. On the front is the Page of Wands. You could be a fire sign. Something about when you were a child, you possibly always was this very enthusiastic individual, starting on things, excited to start on something new. This can also be in the current time where you are encouraged, if you're not doing so already, to take on something new. You could be physically starting on something new, getting inspired. I'm seeing enthusiasm here. Okay, this can be in terms of love. This can be in terms of passions. This could be you collaborating and working with other individuals. Community here. All right. Let's see. What messages is here for the collective? What messages is here for the collective? Welcome in, everyone. This is a collective reading. Please make sure you only take what resonates. This video will be uploaded to my YouTube if you cannot stay for long. Okay. I'm seeing the Chariot. Victory. Direction. Some of y'all are a force to be reckoned with, especially when you find your passion, or when you're in like this, like a certain energy, maybe even a better energy for some of you guys, which of course, right? But what messages is out here for the collective? So first card that comes out, possibly the main overall energy, whether it's a minor or major arcana. And then from there, each card that comes out after will go base like that. That's the spread that I'm pretty much doing at this point in time. Angel number 789 could be significant. Things could be working out for you guys. Or this is what's to come. Endings and new beginnings. Alright. What is the message here for the collective? What is the message here for the collective? On the back of the deck, the Knight of Cups. This looks like some type of love and relationship reading. Love doesn't have to just be limited to romantic counterparts. This can be self-love. This can be family, friends, new relationships, someone coming towards you with an offer. This could be your energy, right? Now let's see. What message is here for the collective? All right, first card out. Wow. The Five of Cups. Someone could be in a space of regret, dwelling on negative emotions to the point to where they can't see the things that are still going well. Somebody could be dwelling over the loss of relationships. Somebody could be grieving the loss of someone who's no longer walking the earth. Usually this Five of Cups energy is someone dwelling in their negative emotions, right? Focused in on the cups that has fallen over, which is the relationships that didn't work out, the negative emotions, the trauma, the heartbreak, the pain, the sorrow, the grief, the regret, the remorse, right? Whereas they are not really paying attention or seeing, because they're so, you know, in this energy right here, that they can't see that there are still two cups standing. Okay, this could be potential. This could be things that are still, that you can still have gratitude for, whatever the case may be. Try not to stay in this energy too long. It's really good to feel all your emotions, to not try to escape and, you know, avoid or anything like that, because I feel like that's what keeps the unresolved emotions there, which eventually can turn into trauma, right? So it's good to feel those negative emotions and to sit in that uncomfortableness. But when you sit there for too long, eventually sadness can turn into depression, right? That bad event, circumstance, bad day will eventually turn into a long-term, you know, energy. So be gentle with yourself at this time, you know. Nobody's saying to not be sad, to not still be hurt, but it's a difference when you're crying over spilled milk or dwelling over things, you know. Let's see. Thank you for double tapping the screen. I appreciate it. Okay, so the Three of Cups is coming out in the reverse. So some of you guys, you possibly no longer have. Your social life could have changed. You could have went from extrovert to introvert. You could have went from happy families, happy times, to conflict, arguments. Okay, personality and ego clashes. Right? You could have went from somebody who had the friendships, the connections, to a person who is possibly solo dolo, doesn't really have any friends or a social life. And it's nothing wrong with that. We all have our seasons of downtime and, you know, where we go through things. And a lot of times we can look at lessons just as great as blessings. A lot of things are just being moved out of the way because it no longer serves you. The lesson has been learned. The experience has been, you know, experienced. Somebody could literally be in self-pity, whether they realize it or not. This could be your energy. This could be someone else's. All right. Any more messages here? I feel like being in this energy is also putting somebody in a space to where they're not really receptive to new relationships, or to the point to where hurt people. They hinder certain relationships. And I don't want to put all of this on someone. Maybe this is just, everybody's situation will be different. Yeah, wow. So it was like there was a loss, and then there was another loss, you know. And I feel like somebody is just at this space to where they've experienced painful endings. Painful. If this was a real life scenario, this person will pretty much no longer be living, right? So some of you guys could possibly have experienced a death and rebirth. a change so transformational. Endings that were very painful. Relationships that scarred you, hurt you, put you in rock bottom. This is the type of pain that's the most painful thing that one can ever experience in their life. So I feel like you guys went through the ringer, emotionally, mentally, within your relationships, right? Wow. Wow. Major Arcana, Strength. First major arcana that came to come out, and it's the fourth card. Stability. I feel like you guys have been very, whether you feel like you carried this well or not, you are someone who is very strong, or you can be encouraged to be courageous, brave. But a lot of you guys, you have overcome insecurities. You have overcome these storms and this great amounts of pain, heartbreaking relationships. Wow. Betrayal, whatever it is that was very painful for you. And a lot of you guys, this was multiple things. It's like back to back, multiple things. You could possibly be someone who doesn't give up. You just keep pushing. For others of you guys, you're being encouraged to stand your ground. This could be helping yourself get through days. Opening up your window so sunlight can come in. Going outside, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Sitting in nature, because nature is very healing. You could have Leo placements. Angel number 8, 10, 3, and 5 could be significant. Conflict, change, challenges, creativity, collaborations, connections, endings, completion, abundance. Some of you guys could have experienced abandonment. This song is by Doechii and SZA. It's called Persuasive. We got Date Night on the front. And on the bottom, we have The Right Way is Your Way. Some of you guys are coping to the best of your abilities. Some of you guys could have felt like the people who you've come across could have been very soulless. No heart, no consideration for the next individual. Some of you guys are in this space of, you know what? I'm going to live my life the way that I'm going to live it. I'm going to do it like it's my B-day. Maybe some of you guys could benefit from doing positive affirmations. Like, I'm that girl for real. I'm that guy. Whatever it is. Tame your passions. There could be a great amount of sadness, anger. Turn those weaknesses into strengths. I'm not saying that those things are weaknesses. I'm just adding more to what this strength card can signify. This song is by Daniel Caesar. It's called Japanese Denim. should wait. Some of you guys could benefit from healthy calming strategies, right? That could be listening to music, building a puzzle, counting to 10, asking for help, reading a book, going outside, exercising, practicing gratitude, petting an animal, okay? Breathing deeply, writing your thoughts down, coloring, all right? We have a moment of vulnerability or weakness here. Someone was or is, you know, in this space of vulnerability or weakness. You know, when you're at your lowest, and being in these spaces can sometimes open you up to certain, I'm thinking desperado. I feel like you guys have been vulnerable and you possibly didn't have the best outcome in that space. Okay, I just seen Taurus. I'm seeing detox. Don't beat yourself up about it, Earth Angel. Whatever it is that you're having, guilt, regrets, whatever this energy is, don't beat yourself up about it. Imagine going through things where people have operated from their lower vibrational selves, and then you start taking it personal, internalizing it. Therefore, insecurities are building up and everything else, right? Maybe some of you guys have helped yourself get through these tough times, and it may not have looked the prettiest or even felt the prettiest, but you have overcome the toughest seasons of your life, or you are actively overcoming. For others of you guys, confirmation, you will overcome this. You are not alone. It's a sad thing that you experience such things, especially if you have like this good heart and your intentions were pure. But that's what I'm saying. We live, we learn from our experiences, right? If you knew better, you do better. So sometimes you just got to take things with a grain of salt and not take things so personal. When you realize that people don't have the emotional capacity, the high EQ, etc., to connect with the being as yourself, because not everyone is like you. There are people who are grand in the world, but there are also the people who are pretty much needing to heal, work through some things, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you get caught up in those type of relationships. Sometimes it's in your own family dynamics, romantic counterparts, right? That's why it hurts the most, because it be the ones that you connect with, who you build bonds with, who you trust. But now you know to take your time to get to know people. To pour into yourself, love yourself, building certain things within yourself to the point to where other things won't even exist. Like you losing yourself in relationships, you becoming so because a lot of things could have been could be avoided, you know. But when you just don't know and don't see something, at times, you know, logically you're bound to possibly bump your head, learn a lesson. A lot of you guys, the wisdom that you've accumulated in today's time, if you would have had that before, a lot of your experiences may or may not would have went a certain way. But do not live in the past. Do not dwell. Move forward, because you can't go back in time. Gather up your strength. You are a strong individual. You have made it out of the toughest seasons in your life. Wherever you are right now, be gentle with yourself. I spoke on that energy of resilience. Some of you guys are still in this space of, you could have PTSD, right? You could still be on edge or on guard. But a lot of you guys genuinely know better now, so it's no point to even be in this energy. Imagine like a newborn child. There's no blueprint. There's influences around you, you know, model figures as you get older and you start understanding more and seeing things, whatever the case may be. So a lot of you guys did the best you could with what you had. Whomever life you've entered, whatever people you've connected with, you were their biggest blessing. Whether this was your parents, whether this was your children, whether this was other family members, friendships, lovers. Because I'm talking to earth angels. Beings of positivity, love, light. And these type of beings could still be in the space of sadness and grief and depression and being upset and all these things. You have emotions. You're a human being at the end of the day as well. And that is pretty normal when you come across those type of feelings, you know, of grief and sadness. It's completely normal, completely valid. Some of you guys could be experiencing some type of physical injury or something of the sort, a sprained wrist, headaches, bandages on your body, something of the sort, right? For some of you guys, you have been very resilient. You are one strong individual. Some of y'all could have retaliated, stooped even lower, but the thing is, when you're made up of a certain energy, it's just some things that you really can't do, won't do, or you decide to go ahead and release. Sometimes this is not training your mind, your body, or sometimes this is just built within you. You know, it's not on you, it's in you, right? You have good character. Now, this, I'm not saying this sometimes you probably won't do tit for tat or whatever the case may be. Like I said, at the end of the day, you have free will, human emotions, whatever the case may be. You react in a certain, you know, whatever. But just getting this message across. Now, this card came out earlier. It says this is a good thing. And it makes me think that, you know, imagine if you would not have been challenged, went through certain hardships, experiences. You possibly would not be as wise as you are today. As nurturing and compassionate. And like I said, for a lot of you guys, that was naturally just built within. As you matured, you probably started realizing these aspects of yourself, or maybe even people when you were at a young age, they already seen these things within you. But there's a lot of negative connotations to things, you know. But I feel like this doesn't have to be looked at in a negative sense. Even though the experiences possibly didn't feel too well, too good, it possibly stirred up some type of trauma and everything else. And now, aside from that, it's time to, I don't want to say get back in the world again, but get back into your life again, you know? Instead of being in survival, it's time to start living again, existing again. Because this season is over. You have made it out of these painful situations. However, you're still holding on to the pain. You're still in some type of negative emotions, you know, to the point to where you may have a black aura, which is not meaning that you are not top tier or this and that. It just means you're depression and a lot of other things, right? So be mindful of, because this could be self-sabotage, you know, because a lot of you guys think about, well, you don't have to think about what you've experienced, but imagine the things that you have went through. For some of you guys, go ahead and think about it. It hurt more 5 months ago, a year ago, a decade ago, than in this present time. So you have to not dwell, because you're actually better than you were before. Some of you guys, this is no longer in the space of extreme pain like it was when you first experienced it. It just possibly may still feel, you know, a certain way because you're still feeling about a situation. It is time to release those negative emotions and feelings. That's what keeps you there in that black aura. Make new friends. Okay, go out. Or enjoy your own company. Be in nature. However it fits for you. Take what resonates for you. Wow. This does not look like a semicolon possibly, but this is what this is. Take that how it resonates for you. It could be your energy. It could be someone else's. All right, I'm seeing the first house. This is astrology terminology. So since I didn't write what the first house signifies, we'll go ahead and see what the first house. A physical home can even be significant. He said, don't wait till life gets too tough before getting the help that you need. Some of you guys, you could benefit from a community of, you know, individuals. You could benefit from going to therapy. Different things, right? Work smarter, not harder. We know you're tough. You don't need everything and this and that. But it's not really about any of those things. It's about what could really help you even more, what you could actually benefit from. Now, the first house, it rules your identity, physical body, outer appearance, and the first impression you make on others. It begins with your ascendant or rising sign and represents how you project yourself into the world. All right. So your identity ties to your personality, ego, and natural temperament. Your appearance can tie to your physical body, facial features, and overall vitality. First impressions, how people see you when you first meet them. New beginnings, your drive to take initiative and start new things. And natural rulers, naturally linked to the zodiac sign Aries and the planet Mars. All right, this is what this first house energy is signifying. And it makes sense because I did see that page of Wands earlier when we were talking about that. If you guys were in here, and don't worry if you missed some of the messages, will be uploaded to my YouTube. If you guys do want to get on the list for your own personal message, the list is open. Nobody is currently on the list. I am doing pay what you can readings. If you cannot afford my standard prices, which are $60 readings, okay, depending on your question, I have $10 questions, $5 questions, $20 questions. It just depends on what your question is, because a lot of times it turns into a reading when doing a question. So if that's the case, it'll possibly be like $20. My readings are always transformational. Some may say life-changing, because I am a wise counsel, not just a tarot oracle reader, surface level. Nothing is really surface level. So for those of you who do not know, I also provide advice in many areas of one's life, etc. If you want to check out my website, you can click the link in my bio. You can check out the reviews there and many of my services that I provide. Yeah, coming to an end. This tough cycle, this dark, gloomy times, this is coming to an end. And for others of you guys, for it to not be as specific, right? Something in particular could be coming to an end. We talked about the endings already. Angel number 10 is out here. Some of you guys literally possibly have some regrets for how you were showing up, whether you were in a space of weakness, in a space of vulnerability. But it's really a good thing to have these type of feelings and emotions. And, you know, this just means that you have a certain level of, you're able to give and receive love. You're able to feel. Some of you guys are emotionally intelligent. For some of you guys that thought something was a good thing, it could be coming to an end. Maybe you thought that relationship, oh my gosh, I'm finally going to be happy with someone. This is my one true love. And then it turns out to be a lesson. But you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself. Now, going back to what pay what you can readings mean, it just means donation-based reads. Whatever you are able to afford or whatever you're called to give, right? Just like for the religion girlies and guys, when you go to church and there is time for the offering, right? You give what you can, you pay what you can. Some people look at it differently, and they take a certain percentage of their checks and they put that into, you know, but that's just what I mean by pay what you can. Basically donation-based reads, whatever that you're able to afford. If you're ever wanting to schedule a read in the future, you can always email me at thealignedspacecode@gmail.com, or you can send me a DM. This is my, I want to say only account, but I have two. Okay, if you don't see anyone going live, it's possibly a scammer. All right, my other account is thealignedSpace.co. okay, the period symbol. Yes, I'm talking to creatives, or maybe it's time to take on those extracurricular activities. Okay, music, theater, okay, dance. I feel like you guys are, there's like endings and like new beginnings here. Beautiful. You very well, much so, should be proud of yourself. People see who you are when they first meet you. Sometimes people may feel like you're just faking, or just this too nice or whatever type of person. But when I say too nice, it's not, oh, she's just too nice, she's da-da-da. Maybe for some of you guys that could be significant, but it's more so like, oh, I feel like they're like exaggerating, like, or whatever. And it's like, no, that's really just who you are. And don't ever dim your light. Whoever you are, be who you are fully. Your greatest superpower is that nobody else, there's no one else that is you. Don't alienate yourself. Don't restrict yourself, limit yourself. I seen a card earlier that says, dream big. And I remember in like real life when I was passing by something, it says, the sky is the limit. Dream big, the sky is the limit. Something of the sort. Somebody literally wrote that on some type of public property little thing. It was written in white letters. So that can even be your messages from above, or whatever you believe in, higher power, if you believe in that. Messages from your own spirit team, highest self, whatever the case may be. Like, hey, give this your all, dream big. Take that leap. But see, when you are in a world filled with low vibrational beings, projectors, abusers, etc., sometimes it kind of brings on fear, powerlessness, internal conflict, insecurities, lack of courage, indecision, a whole bunch of things, right? But that's because we internalize our experiences. We take things personal. We become insecure, a lot of these things. And it happens, right? Especially when you didn't have the proper guidance, education. But that's why your experiences bring all of that to you. That's why I created this quote like, hey, I haven't said it in so long, I damn near forgot it. But it's just keep on experiencing. It'll all make sense in the end. Especially for those of you who are two wise counsels. Strong, resilient, earth angels. But I feel like you will have the union. Because there are people out here who exist, who's worth being connected to, who's worth knowing. Just like how you're worth knowing. You're not the only individual who exists in that energy. Because you too deserve to have relationships that are safe, that feel good. Because you are someone who is safe. A blessing in people's lives. Not a trauma starter. Drama starter. Some of you guys, marriage is in your future. Requited love. Partnerships. And I feel like that's because you're going to be aligning with relationships that are harmonious, filled with unconditional love. Right now, at this time, you could be pouring into yourself, or encouraged to do so, as you're navigating these uncomfortable emotions and tough cycles and everything like that. But practice gratitude, because there are some things that you can still be happy about. You do have some emotions in you to where you can still laugh and smile and things like that. Someone came in with the name Positive Vibes. You manifest certain things in your life when you're operating in those spaces, when you're desiring those things, maybe even when you think about certain things. Because a lot of you guys are powerful manifestors. And a lot of you guys at this time, you're manifesting things, your thoughts, your like different things, right? Tie up loose ends. Okay? Any negative self-talk, any relationships that no longer serve you, any weaknesses that you can turn into strengths, whatever this may be, tie up loose ends. That's like our shoe being untied and we're going to go run a race. So know that any work that you're doing, it's always beneficial. So don't look at it as work and, oh, this is a lot. Look at it as, I'm investing in myself. I am going to, in this world, I am my most biggest project that I will ever work on. In a world filled with low vibrational beings, you want to be able to navigate a world that you're living in, experiencing, whatever the case may be. Because for a lot of you guys, this can have you being a person who loves life, wants to live, to a person who actually doesn't want to be here anymore. But I feel like a lot of you guys who are spiritual or believe in higher powers and purpose, I feel like you're here for a reason. And not in the sense to where it's only solely talking about what you can do for the world and for others, but more so for what you can experience. Some of you guys have yet to experience great happiness and fulfillment. Maybe you've come across it a little bit before you started experiencing some type of trauma in your life, but trust that feeling. It's your intuition. Whatever you know that it is that you need to do, or maybe that little nudge or whatever that is, just encouraging you, you know, helping you into a more aligned, harmonious space and reality. Look, we got YOLO. And I know a lot of us believe in reincarnation and, you know, that nothing is fully ever dead or whatever the case may be. But this is a different message. You only live once. Enjoy your life. Live your life. Because for those who believe in reincarnation, the thing is, you don't remember your other lives. You're just in this one. Dream big. The sky's the limit. If something doesn't sit right with you, if your intuition is nudging you, you move accordingly. I see false security here. Sometimes you could be self-sabotaging. Sometimes things is stagnancy, false security. Especially when people are walking liabilities and you try to rely on these individuals. Rely on them to change, to grow, to be better individuals. The thing is, people come into these things on their own. It cannot be forced. You know, just like if you are blind to something and then you awaken. In that period of time when you're blind, it can't be forced. Somebody can even try to tell you point A to point B, 1 + 1 is 2. If they don't get it, they don't get it. If they don't see it, they don't see it. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. People come into things on their own time, just like you. But sometimes you have to really balance out the mind and the heart. Logic, intuition, etc. Discernment. I keep seeing the word acceptance. Maybe some of you guys need to accept something. Maybe you're already in this energy. Meditate and contemplate is coming out. And it says you are a VIP. You matter. Some of y'all need to really look at your life and ask yourself, am I living? Am I doing what I want? Am I dwelling on things, you know, whatever case may be? Don't. Just like how you are the grandest friend, the grandest lover, the grandest whatever, be that for yourself. Because a lot of you guys haven't experienced that. So if you haven't experienced that and you're capable of providing that to other people, provide that to yourself. The greatest love is that of your own. 2, your own. To you. Stand in your worth. Remember who you are. Because when you tend to forget, and when you be at this space of weakness and everything else, this pushes you in the space of being able to settle, accumulating negative thoughts, etc. And as we know, thoughts, beliefs, and actions pretty much create your reality. I feel like you've been getting signs, messages from above. You are divinely guided and protected, but you also have free will. Sometimes you can miss out on opportunities. Sometimes you can experience delays. Sometimes you can be experiencing this space of being unable to let go. But when there's things to where it's outside of your control and inside of your control, you're always able to let go of things. You're able to change that indecisiveness to decisiveness. Sometimes it may be complicated when you're zoomed into these 3D plane problems and you can't see past the mist. But the answers are always right there. Sometimes it's in the form of your own gut feelings. Look, it says do what you gotta do to get out of this funk, whatever it is. But like I said, for a lot of you guys, this is literally healthy, calming strategies, etc. Okay? Because this is time. Something's arrived. Something is here. That could be you in alignment with a certain reality that you want to experience. But hey, it says stop trying to keep the peace. Stand your ground. This doesn't mean fight fire with fire for a lot of you guys, because I don't promote, anything that can cause harm to self or others, But it's just being able to speak your mind, speak your truth, right? We talked about the throat chakra earlier. Doing what you want to do despite everybody else agreeing to it, or feeling like, like some of you guys, you're going to be individuals who go against societal norms, traditions, etc. And I don't blame you, because in a world filled with negative ones, you are a 10. And this is inside and out. This may be uncomfortable because it's not really normalized for people to go their own way and to do this and to do that. And there's a lot of fear and antisocialness and paranoia and a lot of things going around, Energy is quite contagious as well, but your life is most definitely different, because you are most definitely different. And I know we all feel like we all bleed the same. We're all here on this and that. Yes, because we all have the potential to be our best selves and to experience different things. People experience wealth, you can experience wealth. People experience fame, you can experience. It's the same, but I'm talking about on a deeper level, especially spiritual. But I don't project on anyone, so whatever this means for you, stop trying to keep the peace. Stand your ground. This could be literally giving up that people pleaser energy. You could be doing these things already, or it can be encouraged. Alright? We got misleading. Sometimes you grow up and learn, hey, this is how you should be. This is how you need to operate. So when you have that instilled in your mind for 2 decades, it's kind of difficult to detach, right? That's why deprogramming to reprogram is a thing. That's why going your way, remember we talked about it earlier, your way is the right way. Not everybody may agree. Not everybody may even have the courage to do certain things. But this is why your greatest superpower is that nobody else is you. So whatever you feel inclined to, those downloads you get, whatever it is, live it up. Trust yourself. And trust that you're being divinely guided and protected. Some of you guys, it's something about vitamin deficiency or something of this sort. You're needing to most definitely get all of your, to keep the body functioning and at its best. Make sure you're feeding your body. This is food wise, this is mental wise, emotional wise, different things, right? Make sure you're feeding your body the good things. That's why some of you guys, your stomach be growling and feel like your stomach is empty as heck, or you're dehydrated, your skin is dry and crackling, whatever it is. Self-care and self-love is significant. Dubs in the Wind by SZA, and I believe Kendrick Lamar is significant. That's the song that's currently playing. I'm gonna change the playlist though. And then I just seen that little baby song, Dead Fresh. You know, I'm Dead Fresh, Garden. Alright, we got the main character mix on Spotify. It's on. Because you are the main character. You are not an extra in someone else's life. You are the main character. Be that, act like it, know it. Then you will live it. Some of you guys could do really great justice with being the version of yourself who you want to be. Literally operating in that space. A person who doesn't people please. A person without scarcity tactics, etc. Sometimes in order to get somewhere, practice makes perfect. Sometimes you don't just wait for it to just come about out of thin air. This song is called Ola Dog Anthem by Des Dallas, Kamora, and a few more individuals. You probably can't hear it as much, which is totally fine, because whenever I try to post videos on YouTube, they restrict my videos because it has certain music in the background. I'll probably just put on something instrumental. Someone typed Leviticus 19:31 in the chat. Sometimes people come in here and they don't agree with Tarot and Oracle, but sometimes, like I said, you can take what resonates for you. Some people look into Bible scriptures and they read Psalms, even spiritual people who are not Christians and everything else, because they take things how they resonate for them. So that could be significant for someone. The Judgment. Going through these tough cycles, these tough times, being in these down periods, delays, stagnancy, bouncing back from different things, being resilient, holding on, not giving up, catapulted you into an awakening. Answer the call. We got the Lovers on the back. Someone that could be with you in spirit. Renewal, awakening, choices, self-realization, reflection is significant for this Judgment energy. You could be coming into a space of renewal, awakening, making certain choices, or guided to make certain choices. Especially when I said answer the call, it's something that you're being called to do or something. Take it how it resonates, if that applies for you. Self-realization. You could have realized some things about self. Some of you guys, this could be a time of reflection if you haven't done so already. Or maybe there's different things that comes up to the surface Texas could be significant. You can have Gemini placements, air placements. Air energy is Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. The Seven of Swords is coming out sideways, and now it just flipped out in the upright position. From the Seven of Swords. Six of Cups. Be mindful of self-sabotage. Sometimes certain thoughts are not yours. They could be projected. Thoughts at times could be sneaky little bastards, right? This can also be you being strategic when it comes to the past or when certain things come up, right? All right, let's do this puzzle. It's of a sunset. Beautiful. With a body of water. Okay, we got the Scorpio energy coming out in the back of the deck. We got the Three of Pentacles. This is time to transformation, endings, many other things. This is confirming the Seven of Swords with the Six of Cups. Release. Some of you guys most definitely are encouraged to release the past. This could be the past heartbreak, pain. This could be certain individuals from your childhood or whatever the case may be. This could be doing inner child healing. This could be reflecting on certain things that you've experienced and healing through them. Because sometimes something could have happened 15 years ago, but you never really sat with yourself in that moment, provided enlightenment, whatever the case may be. So this could be many different things, but somebody is becoming a new individual. That's because of whoever you were or whatever you were operating out of before. It possibly was just filled with influences and illusions and other things like that. So I feel like someone is shifting, possibly coming into a more authentic version of themselves. Their experiences has led them here. But maybe the past still tries to come in every now and then. Release the old version of yourself that is no longer who you are. Release the versions of people who you thought that's who they were. However they showed you that was who they were. Thank you. New things, new relationships, new connections are wanting to come in. It's a reason why you don't feel the same about these connections anymore. The mask has fallen. There's no more play, pretend, fairy tale, lifestyle, and dream. Because you are the real deal. And you've already came into some type of... something has already been illuminated. Trust that. Some of you guys possibly don't have the best baby father, baby mother, whatever the case may be. Or be mindful of attracting more individuals who are not in alignment with you. Because it will just be temporary, especially when you've grown and you came into some type of awakening. You just can't go back to being blind or operating the same, because you've grown, you've ascended. Now it's time to go into that next chapter. Confirmation that there is no need to worry. I've been picked up on that energy like 3-4 cards ago. Alright, we got the Broken Mirror Oracle card deck that's calling out to me, so I guess we'll pull a card or two here. We got avoidance that popped out and red flags on the back of the deck. Avoidance is tying to in hiding, feeling guilty, no communication. This could be someone else's energy, or this could be yours. Somebody could be thinking about you. You could be thinking about them. You could be giving someone the cold shoulder, or maybe you've experienced somebody giving you the cold shoulder. And it possibly seemed very heartbreaking or sad because this was someone who you were intimate with, or who you had chemistry with, or who you felt like a great amount of liking towards or love towards. What is significant here for this collective? What messages are significant here for this collective? Thank you for the follow and for double tapping the screen. If you guys want to get on the list for your own personal message, the list is open. I am doing pay what you can readings, which is you just send in whatever that you are able to afford, whatever you're called to give. This is a collective reading. Take only what resonates. We have double life coming out. You guys were dealing with people who were in another relationship, people who were deceptive, people who were liars. Before you knew this, you were already involved. This could have been somebody who you regret being with, who you could be reminiscing about, or they could be reminiscing about you, missing you, looking at your pictures. This could be you looking at pictures. And it's just time to release the past. I don't like telling people what to do, but for some of you guys who feel aligned with what I'm about to say, delete the pictures. Release the people. It doesn't matter if you knew them when you were a child or growing up, or you've been together for a while. It doesn't matter because you're no longer in alignment with certain things, people, behaviors, identities, etc. Sometimes you just have to release people and be in connections with people who are more in alignment with you. And that's harmonious connections that are filled with unconditional love, not deceit, liars, betrayal, and like all of that. Okay? People are literally infatuated with you. They possibly have pictures of you up on their wall, in their phones. Maybe this could have been you at some point in time. That's how you turn those weaknesses into strengths, so where you don't be so obsessed with other individuals. Become so obsessed with yourself to the point where there's no room to be that infatuated with others. Infatuation could tie to denial, obsession, attraction. Be mindful of being so infatuated with someone that you're experiencing denial. You're in denial about who they are. Somebody could be obsessed with you, very attracted to you. Many people, for a lot of you guys. People who you know, you don't know, who you've come across or you haven't come across. This can even be in the future. But remember, everything that glitters is not gold. Sometimes when people are so infatuated with you, it's not something that you always should feel like, okay, period. Because a lot of people are operating from lust, shallowness, etc. That's all that they know is conflict and lust. Somebody is literally infatuated with you, though. They're looking at your pictures, wanting to change their ways, but sometimes people are too stuck in that energy. It's going to take God itself, miracles, and their own self-work to get them out of a space. We got spiritual attack coming out in the reverse. It's time to karma, divine intervention, facing their demons. People come into your life thinking that you're just a pretty face, a good time, when in actuality, you are the tower moment to help them see themselves. The catalyst to provide change. Some of y'all, this is possibly the purpose that you have, the reason why you exist. You're a walking tower moment for a lot of people so that they can see themselves, to stop avoiding, to stop operating in, to help people face their demons. But it's up to them to face them. You know, it's up to them to face them. We have self-love on the back. Loving you, taking back control, finally being happy. This is where you are. For some of you guys, this is what you're coming into. Welcome in, welcome in. Hiding their true feelings. Someone has deep emotions, right? They could be cold and detached, but secretly in love. Some people could be fighting against their feelings for you. Because maybe you make them uncomfortable. Maybe you make them sit with themselves, face certain things, emotions, traumas, etc. Because in order for somebody to be connected with you, they have to be on your level. And if they're a person that lacks emotional intelligence, if they're a person that dishes out trauma, they have on false masks, you just won't. You're just incompatible. Incompatible. Someone as precious as yourself deserves individuals who can reciprocate the greatness that exudes from your body, mind, soul. Some people is fighting against this. Some of these people have so much pride and ego to the point to where they will want to talk to you, and instead they're not going to reach out. They're just going to stalk you. Drive by where you live, stalk your social media, get readings on you. If this is your energy, like I said, be mindful of constantly self-sabotaging. Release the past. Stop looking at pictures. Stop snooping. Stop trying to get readings on people. Leave them in the past. Move forward. There is something better. We have fighting coming out in the reverse. This is tying to trust issues. Detached, one-sided. Fighting could be here because a connection seems one-sided. Somebody is carrying the emotional load of something. You got a person who's emotionally immature connected with a person who's emotionally intelligent. You know, like that type of stuff. Somebody could be detached, not in their heart space, right? So they're argumentative. They misunderstand. They don't want to understand. They can't shift their perspective. Whatever it is. Fighting could be here because of trust issues as well. Oh, I don't trust this person, so now I'm going to bring up something. I'm going to comment on something. This, you know, I feel uncomfortable. I don't know what they're doing. I feel like whatever, right? It's coming out in the reverse, so maybe this energy no longer exists for some of you guys. This happens when you release people who are toxic to you, who doesn't do the work, who doesn't know emotional regulation. See, life starts feeling more at peace when you're not connected with individuals who are walking liabilities. Yep, conflict resolution. You could have been the individual who's always compromising, making amends, or maybe somebody wants to make amends. Okay, I'm seeing positive outcome at the bottom. Maybe you can look at, maybe something is going to be a positive outcome. It's not going to end in fighting and conflict, or it hasn't. Okay, we got reconciliation on the back. Harmony, resolving issues, getting back together. You could be reconciling with someone or some people. Maybe people who have hurt you. So just be mindful, you know. You have free will. You have love for people. Sometimes you would end up reconciling, or maybe this is a situation where people who you have reconciled with, but I feel like you possibly are just leaving it as, there's nothing left for me here. There's no need for bad blood and everything else. Just gonna move forward peacefully. Yeah, no contact. Some of y'all, you have blocked individuals, giving people the silent treatment, cut off all communication from someone or some people because they showed red flags, because of certain signs that you've seen, because maybe these people were cheaters, deceivers. You're doing the right thing, you know, when it comes to your happiness, your peace, etc. Especially when you're a good person, you have a high EQ, etc. It makes sense. It's not, oh, this person is just dramatic and this is, no. It's the right reasons to cut people off. Expect some type of phone call, text, or meetup. The month January could be significant. Or it's something about planning. Maybe somebody's planning to go in no contact. Or maybe going into no contact, this helps people focus back on their own itinerary, their own goals and tasks and dreams and everything at hand. Because instead of giving all your time and energy out to individuals who are like sucking your energy dry and not reciprocating, you now have room to just be, to just exist. And some of you guys, you probably don't even have nothing on your calendar. But this is just energy I'm getting of being free. Okay, Morticia says January is when she went no contact with him. He just reached out and feels different. January is also his birthday month. Thank you for your feedback. Everybody's situation is going to be different, but I see most definitely how that aligns. You guys, every message may not be for you. Take what resonates for you. Leave the rest. To know for sure if a message is for you, you can always get on the list. All right, but trust your intuition at the end of the day. A lot of times we can't find a message here. When you take what resonates for you, it'll make sense. Okay? It won't be confusing. Now, toxic love is here. Be mindful of people just planning on coming back into your energy just to create more drama and problems. That's all that they know. Toxic love is tied to drama, addictions, love or hate relationships, love and hate relationships. Sometimes it gets to this point because you caught people red-handed and you become unsure about them. You know, people hate when, you know, unknown caller is coming out. It's time to stalking, hanging up, unknown numbers. It's coming out in the reverse. This could be someone who is stalking, hanging up, calling you from unknown numbers. It's unknown caller, okay? Then when you look closely at this card, it's almost like they're trying to I can't even think. What is that? can't even think. You know, there's... Then I'm thinking of encrypted. It's like, I can't really think of what this is called at the moment, but these individuals still don't have really anything going on. You're in this space of feeling unsure, having decisions to make because these connections are just out of alignment with you because it's toxic. You have outgrown certain things. You have awoken to certain things. You have shifted into another identity, another version of self. Some things just no longer serve you. You've became aware of certain things. You know, so I feel like this point in time, you're just letting go. You've come into new perspectives. You're taking a pause. Sacrifices here. Some of you guys could be tracking when you go no contact with people. Okay, bet, boom, December 5th, no contact. January 8th, contact. Right? Maybe this is other people. I'm seeing soul contract, soulmates, partnership, spiritual union. I feel like this is going to be coming in, especially because some of you guys are getting into this space of being sick and tired of the same old BS with the same individuals. Eventually, you bump your head 1,000 times. There's nothing else you need to see or learn from here, okay? You didn't had enough, right? Because you were filled with depression, pain, sorrow, crying. December 5th is your grandma's birthday. Yeah, so Capricorn energy could be significant. Look, we got mind games. People were very immature. They were testing you, analyzing you, playing with your mind, possibly gaslighting, being sneaky, hiding information. You could be someone who's mysterious. Maybe somebody was trying to figure you out, but that just catapulted you to not putting all your eggs in one basket. You don't play them type of games. So you guys are back on the market. You could be dating. New love is out here. You got options. Okay? Even if you're not actively connecting with people right now, just know that you do have options. You don't have to settle for the friendships and romantic counterparts that you have already experienced and connected to, the family members. You don't have to settle for any of those negative, toxic relationships because they genuinely drain you, or you just outgrown them. You're not in alignment with them anymore. And that is okay. Some of you guys, it don't make you didn't grow up in a world where it was learned to walk away from people who you love or cared about or whatever the case may be. You possibly were the one who were taught, no, sacrifice. Yeah, we're family. We're this. We're that. But nah, we won't play them type of games. Okay? If it's draining, it's draining. If it's not working, it's not working. If these people were not your family members, you would not even talk to them. If these were not people who you fell in love with, you would have never even given them a chance. They wouldn't have even known you for a third year, let alone 1 year. Hi, Archie. Thank you for the heart me. Yeah. See, these people have unfinished business, but they're just distracting you. They're distractions. Some of these people, they claim to possibly not have time for you. They come off as always busy or whatever the case may be. They kept you waiting, but you're just temptation to them. You're a distraction for them as well, but they're a distraction. You distract them from pain and life and the bullshit. They distract you from things that you actually need to focus on, like yourself and your plans and goals. Someone wants to come in and propose something. They want to ask for forgiveness. They want to reconcile. Some of you guys, maybe you have some unfinished business with people. And like we said, tie up loose ends. When something is out of sight, out of mind, and you continue to release individuals and you substitute that for something, not avoid, right? Be in the space of like, dang, I really did love this person. Yeah, I do miss them. Don't try to run away and fight that. And like, be in that space. Because when you are less like when you are allowing that to be, it doesn't create resistance. Because I feel like the more resistance you create keeps you in that cycle of being still connected to people. Feel all the emotions you need to feel. Forgiveness doesn't mean re-access. Healing, not being in the space where you were with people before, doesn't mean re-access. When people show you who they are the first time, you believe them. Whoever you thought that these individuals were, that was not who they were. Whoever they showed you is who they are. They showed signs of cheating. They showed signs of red flags overall. You had to cut somebody off. Last time I checked, if you ever had to cut somebody off, it's possibly for good reason. So why give them re-access? The type of work that these people need to do, a lot of times, is so deep that a lot of people don't even change in that lifetime. That's how deep the work is that they have to do. Because this is what I like to tell people. You didn't have to become a better person. You didn't have to change and apologize for people for being the most traumatizing connection that they ever been in. So that main energy was dwelling. Stop dwelling. Stop looking at their pictures. Stop getting the readings. It doesn't matter if they try to come back and reconcile. Close the door. End the cycle. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, things are coming to an end. But whatever loose ends you need to tie up, go ahead and tie that up. This is a good thing that you're releasing people, moving forward, that the experiences that you had has come about. You should be very proud of yourself because you came a long way and you've bounced back from the toughest storms of your life. Your intuition is calling. Your intuition, there's something that you feel. Only you know. Okay? Trust that feeling because it is your intuition. Stop trying to keep the peace with individuals who have only brought you misery. I'm not saying fight fire with fire, but you don't also have to tuck your tail behind your legs and not speak your truth and a whole lot of other things. Speak your truth even when your voice shakes. Stand your ground even when you got butterflies in your stomach. Okay? Strength doesn't mean that there's no fear. Bravery doesn't mean that there's no fear. That's what makes the energy of courageous in the first place, because you do so anyway, even in the midst of fear, even when something is uncomfortable, even when something feels scary, right? Maybe some of you guys thinking about, well, dang, I cut these people off, I'm not gonna have anyone. That's totally fine than having people around you who are not safe, who traumatizes you and everything else. Maybe you need this time to be in your own space because all you have done and been around to the point to where even your own mind feels uncomfortable to be in your own space. Like what? You know? So sometimes you just have to hit yourself with the new perspectives and see things in a different light. Not, oh, I'm going to be alone, but well, I'm going to get time to fully really discover myself, to finally have some peace around here. You know? Whatever it is you got to do to release people, to move forward accordingly, to get the life that you have been manifesting, because it's really on the brink of being manifested, because you're ending certain cycles, you're closing out certain things, and some of you guys, quite frankly, are just sick and tired of going through the same stuff. You got people who still immature, you know, still with the whole friends with benefits thing, spending time with other people, all this other stuff. Or maybe this was your energy. Now you got a roster because one person can't get it together. Oh, no, one person can't get it together, and you got to have a roster of other people, and them people, nah, we're going to remove the whole roster. Important to ourselves, because you got to remember your energy is expensive. You can't just be around here sleeping with any and everybody, connecting with any and everybody, trying to be everybody's friend. You came, you saw, you conquered. Let's not re-traumatize ourselves. Let's not re-put ourselves in situations that we really could have avoided. Or, you know, because like I said, a lot of you guys, you probably think you're still as caught up in a certain energy with people and so heartbroken about it, but you're really over it. You just still dwelling over things that happened and didn't work out, or whatever the case may be. But you got to release that. This is a good thing, okay? Yeah, let their life be shitty, okay? You try to save people. You try to be a friend in their life. Because maybe some of you guys, when we seen that semicolon earlier, right? Maybe that wasn't your energy. Maybe that was other individuals. Maybe some people are in a space to where they, trigger warning, they don't want to live. You make people want to live, you know? But it's really deeper than that. They have to want to live, like... you can't be the anchor for someone. It's kind of dangerous, because then when you outgrow a situation and you want to leave, people are gonna try to, you know, like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this if you leave, and like all this, you know, inside of that is also manipulation, and a lot of other things, you know. And if people can't understand what they say or do can have a certain effect on you and your mental health, they most definitely don't need to be around you. Because I don't know about you, but I would never go around telling somebody, you know, if you cut me off, I'm going to do this and that, right, to me. But the thing is, it's not about taking anything personal or whatever the case may be. It's about seeing how people show up and moving accordingly. Like, you're not safe for me, so I'm going to release this relationship. You haven't changed in the way that is a priority, so I have to release this relationship. I'm at a space to where I can lose myself in connection, so I need to take a step back. Whatever it is, like I said, you're the main character of your life. Okay? Main character of your life. You are very special, okay? You are someone who is very special, and I feel like these experiences are bringing some type of testimony, all right? Your crown chakra is significant. You're knowing. Some of you guys, you already know something, okay? And look, your money blockages are being lifted. I'm not saying that people can take what God has in store for you if you believe in God or whatever the case may be, or switch it around however it fits for you. But sometimes delays, missed opportunities, I'm seeing the word corrupt. These things exist. Next thing you know, your money looking funny. You're lazy. You're not dreaming big. You're not doing what you love. You're going above and beyond for other people who would not lift a finger for you, or can't lift a finger for you in the ways that matter. So then when you start doing things that are good for you, best for you, etc., next thing you know, the money start not looking funny. The blockages are being lifted. Opportunities are hitting you left and right. Now, I'm seeing the real thing coming in for you. I'm not sure when, how, where. But as I told y'all before, a lot of you guys, marriage is in your future. If that's what you believe in. We got soulmate. The real kind. Not the one that's filled with lessons and trauma, and it felt like a soulmate bond and relationship, but then it turns out to be a lesson. Now, we're not talking about them. We're not talking about the one with the painful experiences. This is somebody who won't even play with you like that. Talk to you like that. Have to apologize in the first place because they ain't doing nothing for that to begin with. Just like you. You don't play them type of games. And you attract to somebody who also don't play them type of games. You could come off as the cool mom or dad, or maybe this is significant in some type of way. Whoever this person is, they will only see you. Ain't no third parties. Ain't no wandering eyes. Yeah. Coming to an end, coming out again. All that heartbreak and painful experiences, all of that is coming to an end. And I feel like this because a lot of you guys are learning the lesson, and you really just are at that point where you're just more in alignment with receiving exactly what it is that you want. You are single like a Pringle for some of you guys. Back on the market, we talked about it. You give exotic. You give mystical. You give ethereal. It says leave or make your mark. Literally, the world is your oyster. It says, are you going backwards? Sometimes you gotta ask yourself stuff. Am I going backwards? Me thinking about this person and reaching back out to them, and it's fine for people to come across your mind. Acknowledge the thought and move forward.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places.
Yeah, and he said you're great at protecting your data. And going back to the thing when I was talking about, I couldn't figure out what to call it. You know, like hackers. Yes, that's what I was getting. Like hacking into something, doing things of that nature. Some of y'all could have been dealing with people like that. No respect for your boundaries. Breaking and entering, doing this, doing that, whatever the case may be. Are you going backwards? You are destined for greatness. You are destined for greatness. And I feel like you are not going to be a gatekeeper. When you find out things, you release it to the world. You don't expect anything in return. Some of you guys could sometimes feel like the energies that you be operating in, it's like a gift and a curse. But nah, don't add that curse part to nothing. That's why you got to balance everything out. Being a kind, amazing individual. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. One second, y'all. I'm dead. First card too. Ooh. So don't call her. Okay, sorry about that, guys. You know I'm dead. First card too. Okay, you guys, sorry about that. I'm gonna be getting off live soon because the message has pretty much already been said. A lot of times, try not to drain my energy when I overindulge in things. We have take your time. Take your time. I was encouraged to pull some cards from another deck. As well. I mixed about 3 different decks together in here, and all of them are not even here as well because most of them got water damage. These are the ones that survived. Some of y'all, you could have gave somebody bad news. They was out here getting their coffee, their meal, whatever the case may be. You ain't hit them with some bad news. Like, all right, I'm gone. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. You just be bumping heads with these individuals. Who want to be in connections where you just bump heads with people? And I feel like you don't bump heads with people because you a problem starter. Take it how it resonates. Some of y'all, especially cross watchers, maybe that's exactly what you be on. But for my earth angels, my people who really have good hearts, etc., you just want peace, respect, the bare minimum, the basics. You know, equal give and take. You choose someone, they choose you. Healthy relationships. That's really it. Look, security, stability, safety. Hello? Okay. Okay, I'll let him know. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to pause the live or mute the phone, but I will be right back, you guys. Give me 1 second. I want to see what it is that you guys can do more to protect your peace as well. And that's what I was saying earlier, the healthy calming strategies, you know, going outside, listening to music, writing your thoughts, different things is like a positive outlet for you as well. Maybe even going to a rage room. It's different things that you can do that involve spending money, not spending money. Different things that can really help. Creative things, physical things, you know. A lot of things are not even rocket science. We got a screenshot here. You could be getting evidence, proof, and facts right now. Whether that's people showing you what they need to show you, you seeing some type of screenshots. Maybe you're taking the screenshots, getting the screenshots. Maybe there's other people who are screenshotting something. So be mindful of that. But I'm seeing that y'all are doing you, stress-free, setting goals, career focus, possibly even dating for some of you guys. Others of you guys are just happily single. Okay. Right when you start getting into a better energy, it's when people like try to come in. People try to come in. I feel like they be trying to be strategic, test their luck, or whatever the case may be. Maybe she not mad no more. Maybe whatever the case may be. People are even creating secret accounts to spy on you, to watch your content. Because like I said, some of y'all block these people. But there's an opportunity here in some type of way. Maybe these other individuals are looking at it like an opportunity to make amends, an opportunity to reconcile or whatever. Because somebody wants to pop the question. Somebody wants to marry you. But I feel like these people are not marriage material. These are not people who are even like grandfather or mother figures, let alone wifing somebody up or marrying somebody. But they want a second chance. Some of you guys, maybe you will reconcile with them. Others of you guys, this is somebody who you have reconciled with, but you really just are nipping it in the bud. You like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, because these people were not in their divine masculine energy. And we all have masculine and feminine energies, but when somebody is not in this space of, you know, being in, this is so unattractive. The divine masculine energy in the reverse. So some of you guys possibly even felt like you weren't attracted to these individuals anymore. Whether this was a romantic connection or not, it's just like, it's giving ill. Like, what can you do for me that I can't do for me? You can only, because I can do bad all by myself, honey. You broke financially, mentally, emotionally, etc. Spiritually is what, and that is their true colors. Believe them. Believe it. When you get things out of the way, new can come in. Things that are more in alignment. And be mindful, everything that's like new doesn't mean this is going to be the one. This is that. That's why you use your discernment. You apply the wisdom that you've obtained from your experiences. But for a lot of you guys, that reality, all of that is like over with. You see things for what it is instantly. Ain't no getting over on you. Some of these people can want to come into your life so that you can fix them. Right? Be mindful of people who be having romantic love affairs and secret lovers, and you know, they just come into people's energies to have sexual relations. You know, some of these people have certain addictions, obsessions. They use sex to help them cope, to help them be in a better energy and everything like that. So some of these people, I can tell, also doesn't have a brain, because anytime you know that you're avoiding something or trying to have like this negative coping mechanism, you're always going to be brought back right to that uncomfortable feeling in space. Maybe some of these people don't care. Maybe they're fine being in that space, but some of y'all are looking good, feeling good, or you doing the work. What's the T here? We got unbothered. Somebody unbothered. Could be who I'm talking. It's just giving unbothered. Or maybe some of these people, they're unbothered. They're living a life of, I don't know why I thought sin. They're living a life that's just low vibrational. They're always partying. So much stuff. And this is, they don't see nothing wrong with this. They're not bothered by that. We got kissing ass and turning your back. Some of you guys could have been like this people pleaser energy and all like this, and now you like, hey, before I abandon myself, I'll release this relationship, this hold you have on me, this whatever the case may be. You turning your back, now they trying to go kiss your ass, give you flowers, give you your props that they should have been giving you. You don't going on with that fake-ish, because that's all it is. That's what manipulators do. That's what people with narcissistic tactics or tendencies or personalities do. It's always for the benefit of them, never the other individual. And it's not personal, you guys. Some people, you can look at it as an illness, a sickness. But don't be getting caught up in people games. Right? Because this is your winning season. You are the jackpot. You hit the jackpot. You're going to be. I'm seeing you winning money, getting rich. Maybe from an inheritance or unexpected money or something of the sort. Maybe you're going to play the lotto. Move in silence. In these winning seasons. Because you ain't got nothing but people who just pocket watching and all that other stuff. So move in silence, okay? Don't nobody need to know what you got going on. Finality, farewells, leave behind, and closure is here. Yep. You're saying goodbye to the wolves in sheep's clothing. You getting your closure. The closure is that these people are not on your level and can't be on your level, and they only drain you, hurt you, take from you. They can't reciprocate. So it's just really no point. It's like you can't win here. You could be the kindest, loving, beautiful person inside out, and people will still show up in these spaces. They just can't help it because that's who they are. A wolf is a wolf. But sometimes these wolves are in sheep's clothing. But don't you ever for a second fall for it. You're too smart for that. Yeah. Like I told y'all, these people, so much pride and ego, stubbornness. Don't nobody got time for that. And misery loves company, so you connecting with people who feel like crap. So of course they're gonna try to make you feel like that. Some of these people, they have got taught the same thing. Hello, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. Some of these people, you know, they make you feel like crap as well. We're in control of our own emotions, etc. But dang, we got feelings too, right? But that's when you give yourself enlightenment, so you don't have to experience certain things, especially to a certain extent. Something could be less painful than what it is when you provide yourself enlightenment, when you overstand something. Like, oh, okay, well, these people, it's not personal. You know, if a person was able to love me, they will love me. This person is just incapable. So I'm not going to internalize that, traumatize myself, become insecure. Nah. But you also got to realize that they don't serve a purpose in your life. The only purpose they served was the lesson that they taught you. And lessons are just as grand as blessings. Some of y'all was feeling guilty, embarrassed, and in the wrong when this wasn't your responsibility. This wasn't your doing. People weren't even taking accountability. Some of y'all was self-sabotaging by constantly trying to make something work that was meant to be released. We got escaping coming out. In the reverse, it's time to avoiding, blocking, pushing away. You were dealing with avoidance. Grudge holders. They holding a grudge when they're the one who initiated chaos, issues. That's because they're a jackass. They rather you feel shitty and feel like it's your responsibility and your fault than to take accountability. Apologize. Some of these people, they may apologize. Like I said, people with narcissistic or, you know, manipulation or whatever the case may be, people who do things at their benefit, you'll be surprised. Some people may try to kiss your ass and, you know, excuse my language, that's what the cards say, and, you know, other things like that. But like I said, it's an illusion. It's an illusion. You're smarter than that. You know the games by now because they've been played on you. So don't look at this as a loss. Look at this as escaping. Can you ask if going to university is the right move for you? If a lot of things didn't happen in your life, you know, like you doing something and it failing, being uncomfortable, embarrassed, whatever the case may be, you probably wouldn't ask yourself, would this be a good idea? should I do this? If there's a lesson to be learned, there's a lesson to be learned. If it's inevitable, it's inevitable. If you want to go to a university, go to a university. If you want to start off at community college and transfer to a university, do that. You have to ask yourself, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for other reasons? Whatever you genuinely want to do, people will pursue it unless fear is holding them back or whatever the case may be. If you're going to go to a university, I wouldn't recommend getting any loans. But you can do what you want to do. You have free will. But if you want me to genuinely ask that question, aside from whatever, wisdom or whatever I have, because I'm a wise counsel, that's kind of like how I approach things. But I also don't mind tapping in with the divination tools and asking whatever somebody wants to ask. So if you want to get on the list for that, you're more than welcome. It will be a $10 fee. Yeah. Somebody is crying over you because they know that you're valuable. You possibly were something important in someone's life. Or maybe this was you crying over a situation. But I genuinely feel like this was other people. But just because somebody crying over you and everything else, so that don't mean react. Says you've been crying and everything else because of what people have done. Now when you disconnect and you leave and you move forward, now they want to be all this and that. But they had the space and opportunity to rise to the occasion. If they can't do it, no problem. You're incapable. You need more time to heal, learn, navigate, understand, whatever the case may be. But I cannot be the emotional punching bag, the welcome mat for you to get it together. Because a lot of people, they don't get it together. You be spending 20 years in somebody's life, 5 years in somebody's life, 3 years, I don't care if it's 2 months. Still too long, okay? Some of y'all are bosses. You deserve to be connected with bosses. You may want to start connecting with people who are like this. If you're going to have any type of peers or connections, let it be with bosses. People who are stable mentally, financially, etc. This is not because, I'm going to use this person. Nah. This can be in many ways and aspects. This could be you manifesting something huge for yourself. Like you being around other people is helping you catapult into this boss energy yourself. Because naturally, y'all are bosses. But sometimes you just be caught up in other things. Look, got caught blocking. Some people, they're in the way of your success. They're in the way. They talking crap. Some people could be preying on your downfall. But I feel like you be having faith, healing your way through things, meditating, praying. Which can help release those blockages maybe. Some of y'all are really out here unfazed. You got people who wants to be you, they're acting like you, they're dressing like you, trying to look like you, copying you. And I feel like all of y'all, you really don't even really care too much. You know how some people, they get overly excited about certain things? Like, oh, she wanna be me, that. Real recognize real at the end of the day. But some of y'all, you really just be unfazed. You got this going on, that going on. You see weird people and all this other stuff. It's like y'all really don't care about a lot of things. It's because you are a person of depth. What's the tea? Inside scoop. People trying to get the inside scoop. They trying to know what is the tea. They trying to be all up in your business so they can get a piece of the pie, or so they can create some type of trap or whatever the case may be for you. But I don't feel like a lot of y'all going for none of that. A lot of these people are clout hungry. They just say anything, do anything, make shit up. That's what this is. This is somebody who's dramatic, clout hungry. Can't trust them. They a rat. That's why y'all be encouraged to move in silence. When you hit the jackpot, when you win something, when you get something, when you do something, when you win, keep it to yourself. Because a lot of people, they either want a piece of the pie or they want to ruin things for you. It's sad to say, but that's literally the world that you live in. You live in a world filled with Jezebel spirits and people who are not in this upright, divine, masculine energy. It's a lot going on. So take your time. Okay, some of y'all can feel like something is hard, but you went through the most toughest things that you have gotten through it. It's about time to stop saying something is hard. It's okay to feel like a certain way and everything else, but I feel like for some of y'all who believe in manifestation, you don't want to manifest those type of thoughts or thinking. What is the advice here for the collector? What is their advice? Look, I told you forgiveness doesn't mean access. Just because you forgive someone or you're not as hurt as you was before, don't mean let them back in. Okay? Father figures could be significant. You could be a father, or your father could be significant, maybe baby father. Something about father figures. Alright? Don't trust them this time around. Wow. Don't trust them this time around. Because you being who you are, this loving person, give grace, kind, understanding. That's when you create the balance. Like, it's okay to not have trust issues, but it's also okay to be cautious and to have discernment. That's totally fine, okay? It says be mindful of being used or taken advantage of. Literally. It be your own father. It be your own people you had kids with. It be your own people who you know what I'm saying? That's why you need to get to know them before assuming they are the one, or that they are someone who you can trust. We talked about this earlier. Yeah, extending too much grace can be harmful. It doesn't mean that you have to be a person that doesn't forgive or, you know, provide grace, but where's the balance? Look, the 8th house is significant. So the 8th house is tying to transformation, shared resources, sexuality, and the occult. Okay, 8th house is usually ruled by the water sign Scorpio and the planet Pluto. It represents life's deepest mysteries, psychological rebirth, and what lies beneath the surface. Okay, shared finances, of course, is tying to manages joint ventures, taxes, inheritances, mortgages, investments, and debt. Intimacy and sex is also tied to this 8th house energy, which can tie to deep emotional bonding, vulnerability, and eroticism. We talked about that word erotic earlier. All right, transformation and rebirth is out here, tying to governs major life changes, crisis, healing, and psychological evolution. The 8th house can also talk to the unknown and taboo, right? Which is associated with mortality, grief, secrets, and an interest in the occult or psychology. So in modern astrology, it focuses on psychological depth, empowerment, and shedding old versions of the self to transform. In traditional astrology, it views it as a more challenging house because it does not make a traditional geometric aspect to the first house of the self, which first house energy did come out. All right, historically linking it to loss or hidden difficulties. So that's a few things of the 8th house. Okay, it's coming out here. Literally. Okay, there go that big Leo energy coming out again. Any more advice here for the collective? We got taking out the trash. Okay. That's your advice. Take out the trash. If it's corrupt, if it's draining, if it's causing depression, if it's old habits, whatever it is, take out the trash. Okay, Scorpio energy is coming out with this, and not everyone deserves access to you is coming out with this, as well as they didn't see that coming. Maybe you didn't see something coming. Maybe these people are not going to see something coming, which is possibly you cutting them off. But you transformed. People thought that you were going to continue to extend grace and be this welcome mat, and it's like, oh no. Look, the world is your oyster. Remember we talked about that earlier? Any more messages here for the collective? My stomach hurts. Alright. Somebody is waiting. Okay? Possibly waiting to sweet talk you. Or time is just significant. Yeah, I told y'all, people, remember I was like trauma starter, drama starter. Literally, that's all they do. Lustful, drama starting individuals. Literally. This could be people who chase after you. Or maybe this is some type of work that you can do. Maybe you're a chaser, right? It's giving that avoidant, anxious avoidant type relationships. It says pursuit, toxicity, resilience. Yeah, but this don't do nothing but bring you into pain. That's why you gotta be mindful, you know. There's an offer coming. I told y'all somebody's going to try to offer you something. Whether that's a conversation, asking for forgiveness, an apology, a relationship, whatever the case may be. These are people who likes to force things onto people. You probably don't even want the offer. You probably even made it known that you don't want the offer. And they still proceed anyway. They're very persistent. These people forces their way in, okay? They use force to get what they want. Boxing could be significant. We got possibilities here. Remember we talked about the infinite potential, unlimited possibilities? You could be somebody who's free-spirited, likes adventure, takes risks, or it could be encouraged to take risks. Go on an adventure, okay? Some of y'all, you help other people come into like a certain way of viewing things as well, making things feel possible, right? We got one day coming out. It's coming out in the reverse. It says someday, somewhere, another time. Some of y'all, you're breaking the cycle. Some of y'all, you were going to have kids with these people. That's no longer happening. Some of these people are feeling like that they still have a chance with you. Maybe if it's not today or tomorrow, but one day. But y'all nipping that in the bud. And when they finally realize this, they're going to be messed up about it. Because now they can't manipulate no more. Now they can't have the best of both worlds, have their cake and eat it too. We got mixed signals, blocked emotions, and messed up coming out in the reverse. You guys are pretty much healing. Whereas these individuals are falling deeper into these low vibrational spaces and energies. Because they were already in this energy before you came into their life anyway. They were drinking, having this toxic lifestyle. You know, and y'all were just loyal to these individuals. Giving grace, all these other things. But eventually you walked away. And now people are wanting you back. And this could even be future energy. Something that hasn't happened. And it's given. Nuh-uh. Because it's shady. It's shady. You got to be very mindful on who you connect with and reconnect with. Alright. We got divination abuser here. Some of you guys done got so many readings and everything else. And it's like the message is going to be the same, love. Unless you are feeding your delusions and you try to switch the message to where you want to hear something you want to hear. But A lot of these messages could be your energy, someone else's. It could be shifted in another way, not as specific, whatever the case may be. So like I said, just take what resonates for you. All right? But y'all be in y'all head about the situation because y'all can't fully trust these individuals. There's tension here. You may feel like there's secret competition. If you got to keep your friends close to your enemies closer, it's a problem. We ain't doing that. We releasing any and everybody who we be overthinking about, stressed about, overanalyzing, or having that whatever. Or some of these people, since with you being in this energy, this is putting them in their head. Because you don't fully trust these individuals and they possibly can see that. So now they're starting to get in their head because they feel like this person is moving on. They're letting go. They're loving themselves more. They're freeing themselves from me. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You're freeing yourself. You ain't bluffing. Some of y'all, you probably were bluffing. And maybe some of these individuals could have been in this space of pretending or exaggerating or having on a mask. But you don't play them type of games. That's the crazy thing. And I've been saying that all day today. You don't play them type of games. We got the GPS coming out in the reverse. People are not going to be able to track you, know where you at. None of that. I'm seeing y'all hustling. You making, it says making it rain. Focus on getting money. Okay? Getting it. Period. Alright? Twin flames on the back. Under pressure is here. We got running. Somebody got anxiety. They got some decisions they need to make. People literally feel you leaving their life and they're getting a little antsy. You know, some of y'all, you ghosting people, disappearing. It's almost like you don't exist anymore. Some of y'all, these people are, it's like they're invisible. It's like they're invisible. But enough about these individuals and all this other stuff. For some reason, I was just called to pull messages from this deck. And another time when I'm more, when my stomach doesn't hurt as much, I'll probably take my time a little bit more. Because this was kind of going more fast paced. But yeah, you are a beautiful person. You're a very beautiful person, inside and out. You probably don't have a car at the moment, or maybe it's something time to like people's cars are getting repoed and different stuff is happening. I feel like a lot of things is karma. A lot of things is karma. I see why people want you back, because life is not going good for them. And a lot of times, people possibly did have some type of love for you, but it was either unrequited, conditional, toxic, whatever the case may be. And in your vocabulary, that's not love. Love is healthy, love is safe, love is kind, love is warm, right? Love is unconditional, to say the least. Love does not hurt. So people got to get with the program. It says schooling needs post for your class picture. Some of y'all is educating, schooling, telling people. I'm telling you. Okay, now we got the mother figures coming out. We're seeing Libra energy. Soul searching here. Alright, any last messages for this collective? Networking, collaborating, teaching, working together, where your efforts are not going to be wasted. You building something here. You focus on financial matters. You could be an earth sign. Oh yeah, somebody is building. Somebody's about to come into some type of wealth. Okay, now with this King of Pentacles out here and this King of Swords, this could be your energy, or you can be encouraged to be in these energies, you know, in a space to where you are being intelligent. Okay, building security. This is financial intellect, financial intelligence, or something of the sort. Yeah, y'all are moving towards calmer waters. This could be what's happening for you. Shifting and coming into these energies. You're smarter, wiser. Possibly in a space of being head over heart. Okay, you're focusing on that bag. Yeah. Moving towards calmer waters. Tower moment. Something unexpected. Be confident. Be confident. Something is coming in. New money. Something tangible. New house. New car. An offer. An opportunity. There's new beginnings here. Proposals. Offers. So, the world is your oyster. You've experienced the pain, the trials, the tribulations, the fears, all these things. Tame your passions. Turn your weaknesses into strengths. Engage in healthy, calming strategies. Continue to be focused on your bag. Operate from intelligence and logic. Be confident. Take that leap of faith to go after things that you are passionate about. Your dreams, your goals. Because when we're down, the only way is up after that. And trust me, this is rock bottom. You can't go any further than this. You've already hit rock bottom. You're soul searching. You're going within, or you're encouraged to go within. Meditate, contemplate. Some people are going to try to come in. Conflict resolution, apologies, but that's cool. The apology was never needed because you was going to move forward anyway. But the thing is, forgiveness does not mean access. When people put you through the ringer, being a good person speaks volume. When you are a good person, you don't dish out trauma. If anything, you uplift, and you're like a blessing in this world that we live in. It's no excuse for how people show up. Now, we can understand how people show up the way they do because of all of these things. Hi, thank you so much for the gifts. Your crown may tilt a little bit, may get a little insecure along the way. But y'all have overcome your toughest battles, as we said before. Most that you can do now is move forward. You've already hit rock bottom. Move forward with emotional balance. Balance out the heart and the mind. And also have this gentle approach with things. When you have this understanding, a lot of you guys are naturally intelligent and emotionally intelligent. But this can even be encouraged for you to approach a situation as such. People thought that you were going to fight fire with fire and get your lick back. And it's like, nah, I just want peace. My revenge is no revenge. I'm just going to cut you off and move forward. And that's the best thing that you could do. That make them surprised. They like, damn, she ain't gonna get her lick back. Like, oh baby, trust me, karma is gonna hit you where I missed you, honey. Trust. Karma gonna lick the plate, honey. I'm telling you. Some of y'all don't even really care about people getting karma and everything like that, because you know when people get karma, they life is finna be lifing. And some of y'all, you in a space to where you actually don't mind, and that's okay too. Shit, if you have to experience the storms and the rain, why can't other people who have literally made their bed? Okay, so lie in that motherfucker. Sometimes it's what you gotta, that's what you gotta let happen, you know? You gotta let people get their karma. Stop trying to save them. Stop trying to do this and do that. Move forward. Release. It's better you be the tower moment than experience the tower moment. Do you want to continue to be shocked and experience pain and all this other stuff? Or you want to shock other people by walking out of their life and never looking back again? That'll shock them for sure. Like, damn, she was just reconciling with me, giving me a chance. I thought we was going to reconcile again. They didn't change their number. They dating somebody else. Yeah. Whereas you get shot, you find out somebody's been cheating, or you find out this been going on, you didn't accumulated the disease, you got the, we ain't doing nothing about it. Nobody got time for that. Okay? Life is not supposed to be lifing for you. Only time it was lifing is because you needed to go through some lessons and see some things. Now you done seen some things, and I'm pretty sure everything from here on out can be avoided and dismissed, because guess what? You have the wisdom. You're an intelligent individual. You have seen things for what it was. Can't nobody really try to trick you or get over on you. It's just, it will be impossible for a lot of you guys. Some of you guys, maybe you still have like a little naive or gullibleness or whatever the case may be, but it's not like how it was when you first started off in like experiencing in relationships and connecting with people. What's the advice for the collective? What's the con for the collective? So the advice is the strength card. Courage, overcoming insecurities. It can tie to ego. Whew. Inner power, persistence, persuasion. The advice. Wait, was this the advice? Oh, this was the advice. This is what's to come. What's to come is discipline. Learning the lessons, teaching, speaking. Wisdom, spiritual knowledge. Be brave. Be strong. You're going to finally be able to live the life that you could have ever dreamt of. You have been working on something. You have been working hard. Or this can be encouraged. Work on some things. Learn something new. Perfect what you already know. Communication, truth, clarity is here. Peace. Wow. Finally moving forward. Knowing which direction you want to go in and going. Yes. Something is coming full circle. Now I'm being brought back to that Page of Wands energy. Literally. You're always going to be the one who builds, and it tumbles down and rebuild again. Tumble down, rebuild again naturally, because you're resilient. But it's like people need to check on their strong friends too, right? When you're an individual who you don't have that type of support or relations, that's when it's time to connect with new individuals, or even go within, sit with yourself, heal, work through things. because it's really turning a weakness into strength when you learn how to stand on your own 10 toes. Not everyone can do that. Some people, they can't be alone. Some people, they need this and that and this and that. See, you don't really need community, but you deserve community. And I feel like you can get that. Receive that. You just have to not fall victim to the illusions. And you have to move in your purpose and alignment. And you know what that will mean for you. It's not what everybody else deems it as, and always talking about you doing something outside of yourself for everybody else, but it's more so your peace. What's calming? Okay, harmony. This is a beautiful thing. What is the collective attracting? New perspectives. Enlightenment. Fresh starts, new beginnings. What is the collective leaving behind? Secrets, illusions. Even if you a little bit unsure, you're releasing it. Or at least you're encouraged to. You could be leaving behind being in your head a lot. What is the collective coming into? Contentment. Releasing scarcity tactics. For a lot of you guys, these messages can shift and change if you haven't learned some type of lesson, right? So that will mean you'll be on the brink of illusions and the brink of, you know, stagnancy in some type of way, right? But for a lot of you guys, you stay true to yourself. You tie up the loose ends. You release the energies that no longer serve you. Old habits, people, relationship, places, whatever the case may be. Because travel is very significant for this collective. You will receive what it is that you truly desire and what you've been manifesting. And for some of you guys, this is naturally going to happen anyway, because this is destiny. This is like destined for you. Maybe there's a few more hiccups along the way and obstacles, but the end result is exactly what you'll want to receive. For some of you guys, of course. But I feel like for people who are the earth angels and the chosen one energy, if you call yourself that, look at yourself as such, I feel like this is what you will come into. But we do have free will. We make our own choices. So just keep that in mind. The advice is action. Quick, fast. Progress. Big changes and opportunities are here. Seize them. Any more messages here for the collective? Look, I'm telling you, physically starting on something, being excited about it, enthusiastic. Literally, this is possibly something you haven't started on before, done before. But hey, that's the point. You don't have to walk someone else's path. You can create your own. The Empress is here, coming out sideways. Feminine energy. Receiver. Create that balance between the masculine and the feminine. Fertility, pregnancy, something being birthed or wanting to be birthed. That can be a business, relationship, whatever the case may be. Creativity is here. It's creator energy. Your crown may tilt, but it will never fall. All right, keep your head up. You got this. They go to Emperor, Empress energy. And if this is a relationship, you are attracting a divine counterpart. Literally. And this can also be a relationship of self. The balance between the masculine and the feminine. Aries, Taurus energy. Look, justice. Libra energy. Yes, this is karma. This is justice. Yes, the end of a tough cycle and chapter of pain and heartbreak. Literally. Some of y'all wrapped up a tough cycle and came into another painful one. But all of this is being seized. Something is being completed. Look, closure. We talked about it. Unhealthy attachments. Take up space, okay? A lot of you guys say you've been nice for way too long. Let me show you something. Some of y'all, they didn't unleash them emotions that you've been holding in. Make your move. Make your move. If this is physically moving, if this is starting that new project, whatever this is, okay? Remember we said real recognize real? And look, it says you pressure. Woo! We can go all day with these messages, you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Thank you for tuning in to the Aligned Space. If you're ever looking for messages of aid, guidance, tarot and oracle readings, wise counseling, mentorships, life coaching, the list goes on, please make sure you reach out to me. I am available for questions. It's always 25/8. Okay? Sometimes my store is closed, but do not forget, I'm always open. Okay? Always open. So if you guys want to get on the list is open. Please let me know now or forever hold your peace. Okay? But that pretty much concludes the collective message. Okay? I may get on later today or next week or something of the sort. It really all depends if I have the energy to do so or feel called to get on. I charge for readings, honey. I charge for questions. I'm currently not doing any free questions. If someone has any advice that they're seeking, I may be able to provide some type of free advice. But other than that, all of my services, including advice and everything like that, are not free. This collective, however, was free. A lot of times I come on, do collective messages on live, off of live. Alright, but if you guys have any questions, please let me know. If I end the live by the time you decide you want to get on the list or ask a question or whatever the case may be, you can always DM me this account, okay, that you see me go live on. I also have a backup account. Well, it's not really a backup account. I separated my tarot and oracle divination with my non-divination and, stuff like that. All right, but I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for tuning in.